Biden's global initiative to replace Christianity with atheism faces GOP backlash. The 2021 federal grant program is designed to promote atheism and humanism overseas and encourage, quote, dissent from religious belief. Joe Biden, of course, the Catholic, that I put in quotes, wants to spread atheism. I always laugh when I hear this, which is, if atheism was true and you believed it, why would you want others to also believe it? You're an evangelistic atheist. That's really dark. Help us unpack this. To help us unpack this is the courageous Congressman Jim Banks, who's pushing back against it. Congressman, welcome to the program.
Be with you. Thanks for having me.
So this is hard to believe. Walk us through the specifics of this in some detail. The Biden administration's Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, they have a Bureau of Democracy and Human Rights. They're promoting atheism and humanism worldwide. Walk us through this.
Yeah, this is really crazy. So in April of 2021, the Biden State Department under Secretary Blinken announced a competitive process that would award grants of up to about $500,000 to organizations that are committed to the practice of spreading atheism or humanism, especially in South and Central Asia, Middle East, and North Africa. So my letter to the administration demands to know who benefited from these grants, who did they give these grants away to, and what are the specific countries where we are funding atheism? I've got to believe there's more than meets the eye here. It's crazy that we would do this to begin with, but what are the reasons why that the administration has to support it?
Yeah, I got to ask. Can you just fill me in? How do you fund atheism exactly? Is there like the international clerical body of atheism? I mean, how do you fund atheism?
Yeah, we want to know, right? I mean, I'm demanding to know as a congressman, as a representative, using the authority that I have to demand answers from the administration. Explain it to us. Show us the grants that you awarded to spread atheism in foreign countries. Now, you and I both know at the same time, Charlie, the double standard here is very rich to me. If we were funding grants to spread Christianity around the world, the left would be howling about it.
Yep.
They would call it a violation of the First Amendment if we did that at home or abroad. So what is the justification to award these grants to begin with? Who do they give them away to? I want to see the RFPs from the organizations that they provided the State Department that warranted giving them $500,000 to spread atheism.
Well, it's so sick because South American and Central American countries are actually very religious and very Catholic. So they're going into religious countries with almost missionary fervor to go and try to make these countries less religious. And again, there is no separation of church and state. It's a fabrication. It's a fiction. It's not in the Constitution. It's made up by secular humanists. It's derived from a single letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist Convention. Of course, we should have church and state mixed together. Our founding fathers believed in that. We can go through the details of that. They established literally a church in Congress. Anyway, separate issue. The point, though, is that this is acting like a religion, though, isn't it? If we live by their own false premise of separation of church and state, then why on earth and how on earth why would they want to go bring this belief to other countries? I mean, they're almost kind of as if it was the 1400s and they're sending missionaries to the New World filled with despotic, nihilistic atheism and humanism. I mean, what's the thought process behind this?
Well, you're right about the Catholic populations of these countries. There are also Muslims in these countries. So what other groups does the Biden administration want to convert? I mean, why not Catholics in Ireland? Why not Buddhists in Tibet, Christians in China? It seems to me that when we find stories like this, examples like these from the Biden administration, we always seem to learn and find out more that they're always perfectly aligned with our biggest enemy, our greatest adversary, and that being China. And that's what, among many other things, is what bothers me the most with this administration and supporting grants like this to spread humanism and atheism in some of these countries where China is going to benefit the most.
Yeah, and I mean, that China kind of has built a whole regime around secular humanism and atheism, right, where there's nothing but power. And I suppose that would make South American and Central American countries easier to control. I mean, I'm trying to understand the thought process of this. If I was really Machiavellian, if you were trying to export atheism, what would the potential kind of motive be here? Besides the point that they believe in it as a centralized belief system, which again is so twisted and sick, which is let's go get more people to believe in nothing as if that's going to make the world a better place. They really believe that. But I guess if they can deconstruct kind of Catholic infrastructure in South America and Central America, is it conceivable that will make them easier to be compliant colonies for China?
I think you're onto something, and I think the more layers that we peel back on this, that's probably what we're going to learn and find. And at the same time, the Biden administration learns that these tactics work at home at the same time. I mean, this is what we've come to expect from the left in our own country. And when it comes to the State Department, we see so many examples of them echoing and repeating the tactics of the left right here at home, whether it's putting a Black Lives Matter flag up at the German embassy or a gay pride flag at the Vatican, a special representative for racial equity and justice that they created at the State Department. They're always working to remove restrictions on abortion around the globe. So you see the State Department using these tactics that the left uses so effectively right here in the United States of America.
Well, and this is the most important point when it comes to American foreign policy and American State Department policy, which is they want to spread their beliefs with kind of neoliberal enthusiasm to others. It's not enough that they've just trying to wreck America. They want every embassy to have a BLM flag, every embassy to have a gay pride flag. They have to make other countries agree with them. It's not enough that they believe it and they control 95% of San Francisco. They need to make sure Alabama, Algeria, and Chile are also equally as secular and humanist and atheistic.